What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of the Chatting with Cheese podcast. I'm your host, Fat Cheese, and y'all already know the motto: no gimmicks, only the real. This is episode 59, and y'all see I got a special guest here with me today for this episode. I got my guy Shawn in the building with me. So, we going to touch on a couple of topics, get this thing rolling. So, what I'm going to try to do, sprinkle in a little bit going forward, is I'm going to start having some special guests come up on the platform and, we going to do our thing. You know what I'm saying? But you got to know what you're talking about. So my man say you know what he talking about. So, I'm giving him the opportunity to be on the platform. So what it do, bro?
What's going on, champ? How you, man?
I'm all right, bro. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? We about to get it in real quick.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, we is.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the most important thing when this episode drop, I need y'all to like and share and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. So the biggest thing this weekend was football is officially back. College football kicked off this past weekend. And the biggest topic coming out of this weekend was Arch Manning. Everybody been talking about him. His first year starting. Officially, we on Manning watch. Projected Heisman winner. And it didn't start out too good. So Arch Manning struggled versus the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Saturday evening clash. The Ohio State defense dominated Manning and the Texas offense, and the number 3 Buckeyes 14-7 win over the number 1 Longhorns. Before getting the ball back early in the fourth quarter, after Ohio State had gone up 14-0, Manning had 38 passing yards. Manning entered the game as the preseason favorite for the Heisman thanks to Texas' number 1 ranking and his recognizable last name. But the nephew of Peyton and Eli Manning was making just his third start ever on Saturday and his first in a road environment. He definitely looked like an inexperienced quarterback at times, while Manning was able to showcase his running ability to extend plays. At times, he also appeared indecisive and had some throws that were a beat too late or outright forced. He finished the game 17-30 passing for 170 yards and a touchdown and an interception. Texas offensive line didn't help much either with its lack of push and 3 false start penalties. The Longhorns entered the season replacing 4 starters up front and failed to get a touchdown in the third quarter while going for it on 4th down inside Ohio State's 1-yard line. It was the Longhorns' best drive of the game, but it was stymied when the Texas line simply got overwhelmed by Ohio State's defensive front and Manning couldn't get into the end zone on a sneak. So, bruh, give me your thoughts on what you felt and how you looked at Arch after his week 1 debut.
To be honest, Arch, I just think that he was thinking too much this week. Like, it's the first week of the year. I mean, I believe that he gonna be okay. He's a good quarterback, but now when that pressure be on you, cause was Quint what was his name? Quint Urias that was there last year.
Yeah, Quint Ewers.
Yours, yeah, my bad saying his name. Like he was the main starter and Arch was the backup. Like, they was rotating. He ain't there no more. So Arch kinda like basically he gonna I'm gonna just say that he gonna be all right. It's week 1. Ohio State was, a ranked team, they was physical, but it just he had a bad week this week. I think he gonna be all right though.
Yeah,
I think he gonna be all right.
for me, from what I took from it, I'm not going to overreact too much. I do
Yeah.
think that this was his first time as the true starter, and he had a lot of expectations, of course, from the last name, and just what he did coming out of high school. A lot of people was wondering what was the decision going to Texas when they felt he could have went anywhere else and been a starter. For me, I'm gonna look at it as I'm not going to overreact, but at the same time, we gotta hold him a little bit accountable.
Yeah,
Like
we definitely do. Yeah.
the Ohio State defense, and I'm not going. One thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to bash Arch I got to give some credit to that Ohio State defense as well.
Most definitely.
Matt Patricia
Definitely.
called a hell of a game plan. You know, he got his flack from his time in the NFL when he was the head coach of the Detroit Lions, and you know, people kind of poo-pooed on Matt Patricia. This week one game right here, I think Matt Patricia came in with a plan and said, you know what I'm saying, we're not going to allow Osh to take over this game as far as, running and things of that nature. But I do feel like there was some holes in that defense that Arch could have took advantage of. You
Could have took
seen
it, yeah.
some kind of overthrows. You seen some underthrows. They didn't allow him to get too comfortable. The offensive line didn't look very good. But, all in all, I'm not going to overreact. But we got to keep the same energy, though, because I hate to bring them up. Nowadays, people like to talk about Nepo baby. We heard it with Bronny James. We heard it with Shador Sanders. We gotta keep the same energy with Arch.
Yeah, we gonna keep the same energy, yeah, with him. But
Yeah,
I just say with Arch, at least it was. I mean, at least he did it against a ranked team. Long as it
yeah,
wasn't no unranked team or no small school, he looked bad against. But Ohio State, just the Buckeyes we talking about
absolutely.
now.
Reigning national
But
champions.
but like you said, we gonna hold him again. Texas ranking #1, and he's the Heisman favorite. So he ain't look too good. He ain't look too good.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he didn't at all. That one touchdown drive. Now, if they cash in on the 1 yard line and that quarterback sneak, maybe we looking at a different outcome.
Different, yeah.
But that's what Ohio State hang they had on. They did it all last year, making big stops in the red zone. They starting off this year early doing the same thing. But Ohio State didn't look that good on offense. Another thing that I think a lot of people
Yeah.
gotta look at. This is just week one, so
Yeah.
there was a lot of. We just seen we gonna talk about this next, but you seen what happened with Alabama. You seen what happened. Clemson just lost to LSU. That was a hell of a game, but Clemson people got to get the jitters out and things of that nature. So I'm not going to pile too much on Arch, but at the same time, I can't. Certain things I can give you a pass for. Certain things I can't. Like them underthrows. There was a lot of throws that Arch left out there. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of them. Now the one touchdown throw that he did make, hell of a throw. Also, hell of a catch by the receiver. I can't think of his name right now, but hell of a throw, hell of a catch. I think as the game went on and he started to get more comfortable, you could see him kind of settle down a little bit. But at the beginning of it, man, it looked all bad. But I got to give a lot of praise to Matt Patricia and that defensive game plan. The defense was the players of the game. That
It was
defense.
a defensive game.
Oh yeah,
Early, it was a
yeah.
defensive
Both
game.
defenses, yeah. I just think
Yeah.
that it's crazy how I know a lot of people don't like to say that one play can a play or two can determine, but literally, look at the difference. Ohio State was able to stop them at the 1 yard line when it mattered. Texas wasn't able to stop Ohio State at the 1 yard line when it mattered. I think they got them down to a 4th down, and if they would have stopped them, they would have got the ball back.
They would
So
have got the ball back.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's things like that matter throughout a game that sometimes people may not pay that much attention to that really could end up costing you a game. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think I'm with you though, bro. I'm not going to overreact too much.
Yeah.
I'm not going now. Moving forward, we definitely going to watch and pay attention to see how he look against smaller competition, because I think that's going to be very important. Moving forward, if he goes out and looks the same against lesser of competition, then I would say, okay, now we have a problem. But if
Man,
he
we got a
goes
problem.
out, if he goes out and looks how everybody's been expecting him to look against smaller schools and then builds that up, then I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, but we definitely gonna hold him accountable.
Oh, for sure.
For yeah,
For
yeah.
sure. We gotta hold them accountable. We got to. It wouldn't be right if we wouldn't, because like I said, I hate to bring it up, but if it was number 2 for Colorado last year,
The door, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
they would have held them accountable for sure.
But this the thing. Last year, say like, okay, they don't understand about what Shador. I know this ain't about Shador. That's
Mhm.
why I'm saying we gonna hold Arch accountable when he struggled. Because every time last year when Shador struggles, people was talking about it, but they ain't understand that this man Shador, he ain't had no running game. He ain't had. It was just him and Travis Hunter, the two star,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
basically no offense. And like, you know how many times Shador got sacked last year?
Oh my God.
They throwing the ball at least 80% of the time, and they still how many games they lost? Only 3 games. They
Yeah,
still
yeah. Last year they lost. They lost about three. I think 3 games. Yeah,
yeah. It just him and Travis Hunt out there with no line. They throwing the ball, no tight end, no running back. And for Shador, man, come on. So picture if Travis Hunter and Shador would have go to a school like Texas,
exactly,
Alabama, Ohio
exactly.
State, like with a line and more weapons, man, they wouldn't even lose. I bet you they won't even lose
And
at
that's
all.
why, I said with Arch, like my man texted me yesterday and was like, "Well, technically he going against the NFL defense." I'm like, "Yeah, they got Matt Patricia who's coming from the NFL, but those not NFL players that he
They're not
playing
NFL
against."
players. Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
and also Texas not ranked number 1 for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got, you know what I'm saying? They loaded offensively and defensively. So a part of the reason why they were ranked number 1 going into this year was a big part due to Archman. I heard endless
Yeah.
people last year when Quint Ewers wasn't looking too good or wasn't, having his back. A
Yeah.
lot of people put Arch in the game, put Arch. So we got to be able to say, okay, Arch is getting his shot now. You don't have no Quint Ewers to blame. And I said it a week ago on my last episode. I said that I believe that this right here is going to be the best chance for Texas to win a national championship. I said that this right here is the best roster defensively and offensively for them to win a national championship. So if they can't get it done this year with who they have, then I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Then they lost last year, didn't they?
Yeah,
Texas.
they lost to Georgia. I can't remember all the games they lost, but I know they lost to Georgia. I know they
But
lost.
they my fault for cutting you
Oh, you
off.
good? You good?
They did a good job. That was their first year in the SEC, right?
Yeah,
In the
last
SEC
year.
conference, they did a good job. But all the key guys gone. Blue gone, the running back.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Golden gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's different. It's a new year. Arch like the top guys gone.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he,
Hmm.
like I said, I'm not going to pile on to him. It is week 1. You know what I'm saying? We got plenty more out there to watch, plenty more weeks to watch, but as right now, for me, the grade I would give him coming out of this week's game, for me, I would say I give him about a D, maybe C minus, being if I'm being nice, but it's a D because like I said, other than the offensive line not playing too well and him getting pressured and things like that, Arch left a lot of throws out there. I definitely seen a lot of underthrows, a lot of balls leaving out his hand, hitting the dirt before they can get to the receiver, overthrows. So
Overthrows.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So that got to play a factor, but I'm gonna agree with you on that one, bro. I'm not gonna give him
Yeah.
too much grief. I give him a pass for week 1, but after this one,
After
nah,
this one, that's it. Yeah.
he got to get that Shador treatment that
Yeah. Most
everybody else was
definitely.
giving him.
Yeah. Most definitely.
All right,
Hmm.
so you got some more? Or we gonna move on.
We can move on. I said what yeah.
All right, that's a bet, man. So the next big story coming out of Saturday's college football, down goes Alabama.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So for the fourth time in the last 2 seasons, Kalen DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide have lost a true road game against a power conference opponent. Despite Alabama jumping to a 7-0 lead, the Crimson Tide trailed by multiple scores for the vast majority of the contest. Their 17-7 halftime deficit was too big to erase. Alabama lost to Florida State 31-17 in a significant season opening upset, with the Crimson Tide's 23-game season opening win streak ending. The loss was characterized by Alabama's slow start and poor defensive performance against FSU's strong rushing attack, including the touchdown from transfer quarterback Tommy Castellanos. Coach Kalen DeBoer stated there were no excuses, emphasizing the need for the team to play with more assertiveness. Alabama entered the game as nearly 2 touchdown favorite and lost their first season opener since 2001. Coach DeBoer highlighted the team's slow and hesitant start as a major issue, stating, "We can't be hesitant early on. We've got to start fast in all ways." Despite getting the ball into Florida State's territory 7 times, Alabama could only muster 17 points. Now, this was Tommy Castellanos, the transfer quarterback for
From Boston.
Florida State.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
was his quote before the season. Now, he made this
Yeah.
once the schedule came out. This was his quote before the season. They don't have Nick Saban to save them. Save them. I just don't see them stopping me. And I ain't gonna lie, bruh went out there and made a statement. So, what's your thoughts about Alabama losing week 1 versus Florida State?
I mean, I'm gonna just say, well, Alabama, the Nick Saban era is over. Like, they not a great like the Alabama team I was looking at Saturday. That ain't look like that ain't the Alabama team I know. Like it's over. They wasn't aggressive. Like they just Florida State just that quarterback just did his thing. Like the Nick Saban era is over. Like I mean, they still got. They say Alabama probably got the second or third best roster in the country.
Yeah,
But if you don't got like Nick, it just was something about Nick Saban, like he bring to the team, and that ain't there no more in Alabama. See, last season, I know this season, but last season, like you still had some of them players that came from Nick Saban that was still like, yeah, let's go. But these guys, they gone now, and it's a new era now. So Nick Saban era is definitely over. Like Alabama, I just think they done. They gonna compete, but they not gonna be the Alabama we know,
yeah,
like that we used to seeing.
yeah. For
Yeah.
for me, I agree with you 100%, bro. I think, and real quick, this don't even have nothing to do with you, but
Go
this
ahead, now go ahead.
everybody, right?
Yeah.
'Cause last year Alabama did not make the college football playoff. And I made
Mm.
I made a post last year saying that I felt as though Alabama did not deserve to make the college football playoff. And I had so many people telling me why they felt Alabama deserved to make it. People still going off a name. Like you said, bruh, Nick Saban is gone.
He's gone.
Nick Saban is gone. This what I seen on Saturday. Alabama came out, they drove down the field, they did what they were supposed to do. Florida State countered and punched them right in the mouth, and they had no answer for it. They
No
were
one's
physical. Florida State was more physical than them.
definitely more
They looked
physical.
like they looked like they wanted it. They wanted it more than them. They brought the fight to Alabama. They did to Alabama what we're used to seeing Alabama do to
Alabama
other
used to
guys.
exactly.
For you to
Yeah.
go in this game a 2 touchdown favorite and go into halftime almost down by 2 touchdowns, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that right there goes to show you. And I'm like I said, it's only week 1, and I don't want to dive on too early. But Alabama, the answer for them is not Ty Simpson moving forward. It's not.
No.
They gonna have to
No.
find. They gonna have to do something with that quarterback position. I think you got a stud in Ryan Williams. He got injured, I think, a little late in that game. I don't know the severity of it. But the answer is not Ty Simpson. He did not look good at all. He didn't look comfortable at no point in time in the game. Also, Alabama had the ball in Florida State territory on multiple occasions and was not able to cash in. They punted. Florida State stopped them. They punted. Florida State fumbled a punt return. Alabama got it in their territory and still wasn't able to cash in. Tried to go for it on 4th down. End up not getting it. This was not a good look for Alabama starting the season off. And I understand people want to go off name value. This is Alabama. I'm a piggyback just off what you said. This is not the same Alabama team we've been watching under Nick Saban. It's just not.
It's not. It's
And
not.
people gotta understand that in their mind. This Florida State team, and for Florida State needed this because they only won 2 games last year. They were a
Yeah.
laughing stock last year after the year before last, 2023, they felt they were robbed of a college football playoff spot. So
Hmm.
there were high expectations coming into last year. They ended up having a terrible season. For them to bounce back and start this year off on this type of note, winning against Alabama, that's huge for them. That quarterback,
Huge.
man, Tommy Castellano, he looked great, bro.
Yeah.
Not only he made some great throws, but what he was able to do with his legs. But he was 9 of 14 attempts, 152 yards. But on the ground, he gave you 16 attempts, 78 yards with a touchdown. Alabama allowed 4 touchdowns on the ground. When have we ever known that in the Nick Saban era? This how you
Never.
know it's different. Normally,
It's different.
if people get in the end zone against Alabama, more than likely they throwing it. But on the
Yeah.
ground, they gonna make sure that they stop and they gonna run the football on you before they allow
Yeah.
you to run the football on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that, bro. Honestly.
Yeah, and Florida State, I could say they won 2 games last year, but they got a bunch of transfer because their quarterback, he came from Boston College. Yeah, he was.
Castellano. And you know what's crazy? Not to cut you off, I'm gonna let you go.
Now what?
He beat Florida State that last year.
Yeah,
He beat Florida State last year with Boston College. I believe that
yeah,
was their second because they lost in the season opener to Georgia Tech. I believe Boston College was their next game, and he beat them, so they
he
know
beat
what
him.
they getting out of him.
Yeah, but Alabama, the Nick Saban era is over. It's done. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
for him, and also another thing I like because I'm the type of guy. For him to make that type of statement before the season even started, you know, a lot of people probably scoffed at it or probably like, man, oh, he don't know what he's
yeah,
setting himself up for. You could tell that his statement that transferred through that whole locker room because those guys came out there on Saturday looking like they was ready to play. Like I said, they punched Alabama in the mouth. Alabama had no response, bruh. No response. At no point in that game that I feel like, and this on going into halftime, at no point in that game did I feel like Alabama had a chance to come back and win that game. And honestly, I always been on the side of Alabama, but I never felt like, and no point in that game Alabama had a chance to win that game, bro. It's different. But Ty Simpson, I know what we just said about Arch about piling on week one, but I'm sorry, bro. I don't think Alabama could move forward with him as a starter. I don't know what their other options is. Maybe, you know, he had to get his butterflies out. That defense, that Florida State defense was looking fierce. So maybe it was just, you know, they didn't really have nothing to counter off that. But if he continues to play like that, Alabama gonna have to figure something out at the quarterback position.
yeah. And Brian Williams, I mean, he should probably be looking to transfer after this season if they can't, because Ryan Williams is definitely a talented wide receiver.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I put Ryan Williams right there behind Jeremiah Smith. I think it's
Yeah,
Jeremiah Smith,
yeah,
and then you got Ryan Williams. And I
Ryan
just think
Williams.
they wasn't able to get Ryan Williams, but they was blanketing Ryan Williams. I just think that they really couldn't get him involved as much as they wanted to. And it's like every time they gave Florida State the ball, Florida State was just driving right down the field and scoring touchdowns or getting three. And it just the crazy thing is it wasn't even majority of like them throwing the ball. Most of it was on the ground. Just hand the ball off to the back, let them gain something. The quarterback take it. He maybe don't see nothing downfield. He used his legs. It was just, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't wanna jump the gun too early, but the way Florida State looked, if they can continue on this trajectory, it wouldn't shock me if we see Florida State turn their season around and end up in the college football playoff this year.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they could do it.
Yeah. So I think that was solid, man. But I agree with my guy, man. I believe that Alabama, yeah, it's not the Nick Saban era no more. I tried to tell them last year when they ain't make the playoff. I said, man, listen, it's not. Trust me, it's not the same.
Not
It's
the
not the
same at
same. You
all.
got a bunch of teams. The transfer. This is why Nick Saban got out of college football because you got
Yeah,
the transfer portal. You got guys going to all these different schools, different teams. So it's totally different from what it used to be. And now,
yeah.
you know, DeBoer, he's trying to, you know, come in and put the pieces together. But unfortunately, he not Nick Saban, man.
He's
Everybody
not Nick
can't do
Saban.
that.
Yeah,
Everybody can't do it.
it's like the transfer portal, like way more important than the All Americans that's coming out in high school.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's like that in college basketball too.
Absolutely, the transfer portal has took over
It just took
everything,
over.
bro. Like, for instance, like LSU, they new team that they got this year. It's full of guys from the transfer portal. Like you said, it's like
Yeah,
the whole thing has shifted to, okay, can I get the, because you got so many talented guys moving in the transfer portal, like Downs, the safety from Ohio State. He was with
yeah.
Alabama,
He was by Alabama. Yeah,
hit the
Caleb
transfer
Downs. Yeah,
portal and ended up in Ohio State. So
yeah.
that's just how it go. Like the transfer portal is something, and honestly, it's running a lot of coaches away from college football, college basketball, and you seeing it with Alabama. Anytime it's gotten so bad that that Nick Saban to call it quits, you know where it's headed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man. So I can't wait to see how this thing shakes out. But right now for Alabama, that's a tough one. They're gonna have to bounce back in a major way, and we just gonna have to see what happens. So NFL season start this week, bruh.
Yeah,
Now, another
yeah,
thing, another thing that made me want you on the show was I heard you a Cowboy fan.
yeah, yeah.
So that even boosted it for me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. So
Okay,
bef-
okay.
before we
Yeah,
get into before we get into our predictions for this week, I want since I never this is your first time on here. This is your first time actually doing podcasting. So I want to
yeah.
know what's your thoughts on the Michael Parsons trade now that we a couple of days removed from it.
I mean, Jury, did you hear? Jury knew something that we ain't know. Now, man, Michael Parsons got back injuries, and it's just this. Michael Parsons, to me, I mean, I believe Jury should have paid him last year, like when or just to get it out the way. But Michael Parsons wasn't a man to his word. He wasn't a man of his word because he said this out his mouth last season. Okay, when it's my time to get paid, when it's time for them to pay me, I'm here. But right now, I don't mind if we could get pieces to help the team win. He said that. Okay, so we going to go get the pieces. We grab George Pickens. That's a good pickup. We grab Kenneth Murray, a good linebacker, a veteran linebacker. Jack Sanborn, he could break out. He coming from the Bears. Like, we grabbing pieces. Now we get into the off season, you crying about your money. But I think that like he looking at it as okay, CD Lamb set out, but Parsons was coming. It was I heard Parsons was walking out of meetings and everything. And two, like he like Michael Parsons is just he say one thing and he say another. He on his podcast. Like you could be on your podcast, but like if you would have just shut your mouth, like I mean maybe jury would have, and jury and they offered them a contract.
Yeah,
They offered like and he gonna say, talk to my agent. Jury say, okay, you want me to talk to your agent? I'm talking to you. You crying for the money. Like you got to say so over your agent. What you mean talk to your agent? I'm coming to you, talking to you about a $200 million deal. You gonna tell me go talk to your agent? I'm
yeah,
Jerry Jones. We know how Jerry is.
yeah.
So Michael Parsons, it was just like he talked too much.
Yeah, I think with the whole situation, I ain't gonna lie, bruh. When it first went down, I was like real upset because of course, Micah is a generational talent. You
He
you
is,
want
he
to keep
definitely is.
you want to keep guys like that. What I feel, and I'm gonna say how I've been saying, I kind of blame both parties. The reason why is because I don't like the way we all know how Jerry Jones is. We know how Jerry Jones is. But at the same time, two things also can be true. We know how you are, but the way that you go about things don't got is not always the right way. Like we don't
Yeah,
see other teams do this. We don't see other teams taking shots at they star players. We don't see other teams, make their guys have to threaten to sit out or not play. And we already know Jerry likes to play the whole media game. My
yeah.
thing with Jerry is, Jerry, you've been doing this for 30 odd some years, bro. You
Mm.
know, in any contract negotiation, you got to deal with the agent. You know that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
that,
true
that's
too.
number one.
That's
Then
true.
the reason why I'm gonna blame Micah is because Micah, if you going in Jerry office, even let's say for instance he did call you in there about leadership, right? Let's just say that is the case. He called you in there about leadership. Once the conversation of contract came up, or you felt as though he was switching it over to contract, the whole conversation should have been done. No, I'm not going to talk to my. If you want to talk about that, talk to my agent. Dak Prescott said that's what he did to Jerry. So I just feel like at the
Oh,
same,
okay.
I just feel like Micah may have went in there and maybe talked a little too much, and maybe him and Jerry may have got the impression that they negotiated a contract where, in Micah's mind, he probably said, let me take this back to my agent. When he took it back to his agent, it ended up being something that they didn't want to go forward with. I just feel like I just feel like both sides I blame for, but the way I look at it, It's nothing we could do about it now. He's in Green Bay. We received Kenny Clark. We got the 2 first-round picks. I think with this move, it'll make the defense better as a whole because for the past years, the biggest problem has been stopping the run. I think that they
Yes.
finally came to the
Mm.
realization that they missed on Mozzie Smith. Mozzie Smith is a miss. They realized
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I think identifying that, going to go get a solid defensive tackle. I'm not saying that Kenny Clark is the guy that he was 5, 6 years ago, but I definitely think he comes in there and automatically is a far miles better upgrade over all the defensive tackles we had except for Osa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also,
And,
yeah.
and I seen a report today saying that the Panthers were interested in getting Micah Parsons, but they didn't want to add Derek Brown in the deal, the
Ooh,
defensive
I would have
tackle.
loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least I give Jerry some credit for
Yeah.
understanding the weakness on the team and trying to get it better. But it's unfortunate that Micah had to go, but it is what it is now. He's a Green Bay Packer. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he have a great season. I did see what you was talking about as far as them saying that his back is really injured and he possibly have to get, I think they said like epidural before every game or something.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll I can't wait to see how this season play out. So we gonna kick off these predictions, man. So I'm gonna hand it over. We gonna ping pong this thing. So week 1,
Okay.
Thursday night, Philadelphia Eagles versus our Dallas Cowboys. Who you got?
Oh, you already know who I got. I'm rolling with my mom.
Okay.
Yeah. We gonna come out because we owe like. See, I don't be liking the jinx. Oh, they say Dak Prescott 7-1 against the Eagles. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
like that. But I think we got the weapons. If we could stay healthy this year, like we could compete with Philly, and I just don't think Philly can handle our wide receivers. They don't got Darius Slay no more. Understand Anthony Mitchell and Dejon Cooper and them, like they was rookies, like they get there. But now, just like they out there on their own now, like they gotta hope. We gotta see what they really about this year too. But I don't think they could keep. Think they gonna handle C.D. Lamb and George Pickens.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a game. Now with me, my heart is telling me my Cowboys. You already know.
Yeah.
But my mind is telling me go Philly. So I hate to say this, and I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm doing a reverse jinx. I went with Philly on this one, and the only reason I went with Philly is because I just think ring ceremony. You know what I'm saying? That crowd is going to be electric. Despite what they may come out and say, I think them going out there with the trade and everything that just went down, I think it's going to be, it's an adjustment period to everything. I do think Dak Prescott is great against our division opponents. Anytime we play in a division, Dak plays his tail off. But we haven't seen Dak since early last season. We got to see how he look. I don't know how the running game is going to look. The offensive line, I got to see how that comes together. I know what our wide receivers going to do. I'm not worried
Yeah.
about Pickens. I'm not worried about CD. I think Jake Ferguson is due for a comeback year. I'm not worried about that. But the biggest question for me is going to be that defense versus Saquon
Yeah.
Barkley. Can they stop the run? This is what if we going off of what Jerry said, you made this trade to stop the run. So the question is going to be, this is the biggest test. You going up against the best running back in football.
Almost definitely. Yeah.
Can you go out there and stop the run? Another question mark for me is I know a lot of people want to say the line. What is the secondary going to look like? We don't know if Trayvon Diggs is going to play yet. I don't want them to rush him back. If you feel like you got to rush him back, he shouldn't play. DeRon
Yeah.
Bland just got his money, so we know he's going to be out there. Can Kyer Elam, come up? He had a hot off season. Can he transfer that into the regular season? So it's just I feel like it's a lot of question marks for Dallas, whereas though it's not so many for Philly. They basically got the same team. Not on the defensive side. They did lose a lot. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They lost Josh Sweat. They lost Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
They lost some big pieces. Don't get me wrong on that, but I just feel like it's more questions on the Cowboy side of things than it is on Philly.
Philly
And
side.
just
Yeah.
with with that atmosphere, and I just think it's going to be a lot. Now, do I think it's going to be a closer game than a lot of people think? Absolutely. But I think when it's all said and done, I think my mind is telling me Philly, my heart is saying Dallas. So I'm gonna go with Philly on this one. So next up is Friday. You got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers.
Mm. I'm gonna go with Kansas City. I'm gonna go with Kansas City because I just believe is Marquise Brown playing? Is he healthy?
I seen that he was questionable. I don't know. They haven't announced if he's going to be out or not. If I had to guess, he probably going to be out though.
Okay, so is Rashid Rice playing? Is they gonna?
Nah, suspended 6 games.
Oh yeah, I was just going.
Yeah,
Yeah, we talking Patrick Mahomes, so I mean, if I gotta put, I'm going with Kansas City. I'm gonna just
yeah,
go with Kansas City because they they experience and they know what it's like. I mean, the Chargers is a good team. Like I like Harbaugh from I like the Harbaugh brothers, but the Chargers they got a lot of holes to fill in. I mean, they did pick up it was like Najee Harris from
yeah,
Pittsburgh. He's a cool B plus running back, B minus.
yeah.
But I got Kansas City. I got Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm go. I agree with you on that one. I'm going Kansas City. I don't never go against Mahomes. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
Mahomes,
you can't.
Mahomes, Travis Kelsey. I know they not gonna have Rasheed Rice, and I don't know what's the status of Hollywood Brown, but you still got Worthy. And as long
Yeah,
as you got Patrick Mahomes in that backfield, I think that defense is still gonna be stout with Chris Jones and that mob. So
yeah,
I went Kansas City on that one too. I like the Chargers. I like you said, Najee Harris. They also got Hampton. They drafted him in the first round from North Carolina. I like them. I like them. I like Herbert. I think Herbert is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. A little
yeah.
overrated, but I give him one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But I just think, yeah, they got too many holes. You don't know how they're gonna look on the wide receiver side of things. I like Luke.
The wide receiver, yeah,
Yeah, I like him.
yeah, he nice.
Yeah, I like him, but I can't go against Kansas City, especially opening night. But they did
Yeah.
lose the opening night before, so it wouldn't surprise me. But on this one, I went with Kansas City. So next up, we got the Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns.
Mm. This your door starting?
Nah, you know that. Nah.
uh, I mean, since I think Joe Burrow and I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I like Joe, but I think the Bengals kind of crazy paying a number two wide receiver all that money. And they
Yeah,
could have used that money to go fill, the defense in. They DN, what's his name, Trey Hickerson.
Trey
What they
Henderson.
do,
Yeah,
Henderson. They gave him a 1 year, but eventually they gonna have to pay him. So the Bengals can. I mean, I will go with Cincinnati
yeah. I
because the
think I
weapons
think they
they
trying to
got.
I think they trying to prolong Trey Hendrickson. I think they
Yeah,
trying to prolong it out, but eventually, like you said, you're gonna have to pay. But I did the same thing. I went to Bengals. I just think
yeah.
the Browns they got too much going on over
They got
there.
too much going on. Yeah,
Yeah, and even though the Bengals are known for having slow starts, so it wouldn't shock me if
yeah,
they lost this game.
yeah. They
But,
always
but
start 0-3, 0-2
yeah,
in
because that
turn. Yeah,
defense is horrible, but other than Trey
horrible.
Hendrickson. But I think Joe Burrow in that offense, Jamar Chase, Higgins. I think with the running back Chase Brown, I think they should be able to pull this one. I just don't think the Browns are gonna have a good football team this year. Too much
Yeah.
going on. And then I don't like how they going about the whole Shador situation. So I ain't gonna lie to you. I went Cincinnati on this one.
Okay.
So next up, you got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh, good. I'm going with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay probably top three with the best wide receiver core.
Hmm.
Mike Evans, Chris Goodwin. Tampa, Baker Mayfield. Tampa just got weapons on the offensive side of the ball. They got a little. I'm mad at them for getting rid of Shiloh Saint. I just want the Sanders kids. It's like everybody hate on them. Like I'm mad at them for that. But I take Tampa. But Atlanta, Michael Penix, he's nice.
Yeah, he
He's
nice.
nice. Can't sleep on him.
I
But I'm
went
going with Tampa.
Yeah, so for that one, I went Atlanta. I ain't gonna lie. And the reason why I'm going with Atlanta because I just did an episode a couple of episodes ago. I said that Atlanta was my sleeper team in the AFC. I mean, not AFC. My sleeper team in the NFC. I really like Michael Penix Jr. I think Bijan Robinson is a top 5 running back in this league. I like what I seen from Penix, late in the season when he did finally get the helm and was able to be the starter. I like what I seen from him. I think he had a chance to go throughout the entire offseason and be that number one quarterback. I like Drake London. Drake London had a quiet, good season last year. I like
Yeah.
Drake London. If Darnell Mooney can give you the same production that he gave you last year, and
Hmm.
if they just can get something from Kyle Pitts, if they can just
Yeah.
get something from Kyle Pitts, I think we could be looking at a top offense in this league. But for this game in particular, I believe it's in Atlanta. I think it's in Atlanta. But I think Atlanta should. I think Atlanta. I got Atlanta pulling this out. I think it's going to be a very close game. But I went with Atlanta on that one. So the
Okay.
next one we got this like a We got the Cardinals and the New Orleans Saints.
Ah, I will go with. I like the Cardinals secondary. Kyler Murray can't stay on the field, but who was New Orleans quarterback?
They decided they was going to go with Rittler.
Oh, Spencer Rattler. He okay.
Spencer
He
Rittler, yeah, Riley,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He okay. But they better off just going to go get a quarterback from
Yeah,
whoever work at Walmart or Target.
I think they tanking. I'm gonna keep it all the way on. I think they tanking. I don't see a scenario honestly where the Saints win more than 2 games. If
So
that,
I got Arizona. I'm gonna take
yeah,
Arizona.
yeah. This one was a little
Defensive game.
easy. This one was a little easy for me. I went Arizona. I think
Spencer
Kyler.
Rattler could throw 2 interceptions.
Yeah, I think
Throw two
Kyler
interceptions.
Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. will get it clicking. They
Yeah.
also got that backfield. They still got my man. I can't think of his name right now. Used to play for Pittsburgh.
James Conner.
Yeah, they got Connor
Yeah.
in the backfield. I just think Arizona. This will be an easy. I'm not gonna say easy, but this will be a win for Arizona. I just think
Yeah.
it's too much disarray over there in New Orleans. Kellen Moore, this is his first year as the head coach. The quarterback situation is terrible. So I went with Arizona in this one. So next up,
Yeah.
you got we got the Indianapolis Colts and the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh. Uh, the Colts got quarterback problems. Anthony
Hmm.
Richards. So Who they
Daniel
started?
Jones.
Daniel Jones. I liked it. I used to like Daniel Jones, but I go with the Colts. I go with the Colts. No,
Yeah, I agree with
I
you,
go
bro. I
with the
went
Colts.
Colts. I went Colts as
Yeah,
well too. I think
Daniel
Daniel,
Jones will win you a few games.
yeah, Daniel
Yeah,
Jones, Taylor in the backfield. I think this is going to be a bounce back season for Pittman. I think he'll have a bounce
yeah,
back season. I like the tight end that they drafted from out of Penn State. I
yeah.
think I think Daniel Jones. I think he can go out there and win you a couple games. I think the defense is going to be solid too. The only reason I'm just not real high on Tua. I think Tua can give you
They
sparks.
ain't the same.
Yeah, sparks and flashes, but another thing is I don't trust that Miami defense. I don't think that defense is going to be that good. I know they
Yeah.
got they got Minka Fitzpatrick back, but I don't think the defense is going to be that good. And also with the situation with Tyreek Hill not knowing if he want to be there or not, it's just too much. I think the Colts pull this one out. This could be another close game that could come down to maybe a touchdown or a field goal. But I went the
Hmm.
Colts on that one as well. So I agree with you on that one, bro. So next up, you got the New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders.
I don't even want to answer that question. Say nothing. But I keep it real. I think the Commanders, the Giants, we gotta look out for their D line. If they put that quarterback Jason Dart in, like I'm afraid I wanted Jason Dart, but if I'm saying his name
Yeah,
right,
Jackson Dot. Jackson Dot.
Jason
Yeah.
Dart, yeah. But the command, I'm just be real. The Commanders, they upgraded on a few pieces. I give them that little win. That's the only game they gonna win. I mean, that's the only one they gonna win. But I go with the Commanders. It's the only time I go with them.
Yeah. So for me,
I'm a hater like that. That's
I
how
feel
bad
you.
I
Yeah,
hate
I feel
them.
you. I ain't gonna lie, bruh. For me, this one of my upsets of the week. I win New York Giants, right? And the reason why I went to Giants, and I love everything Washington is doing. Like
Yeah, no
I think
question.
Jaden Daniels is going to be the exact. I don't think last year was a fluke. I think he's an elite quarterback. I'm glad that they signed Terry McLaurin. I'm a Terry
Yeah,
McLaurin guy. I think Debo
yeah,
Samuel's going to have a resurgence and a breakout. Could possibly have a breakout year. I think the question mark for them is going to be what they're going to get from that defense. I think their secondary is going to be secretly good with Lattimore having a full offseason with them. I like them drafting Trey Amos. The
yeah.
reason
He
why I
gonna be
went to
good.
the reason why I went with the New York Giants in this one though is because I think that defensive line is going to be top 5 in the league when it's all said and
Ooh,
done. When
yeah,
you add Abdul Carter, who to me was the best player in this year's draft, you
yeah,
put him beside, you have Dexter Lawrence. You got Brian Burns on the other side. They could
yeah,
swap either of them out with Thibodeau. Then you
yeah,
also drafted Alexander from Toledo in the draft, who was one of the best defensive tackles coming out in this year's draft. I don't know how their secondary is going to look, but I do know one thing. Me being a football fan, I do know pass rush helps your secondary.
yeah. Make the back end look good. Yeah,
Yeah, so I believe that if they're able to put enough now we can't. We also got to remember that the Commanders did add Laramie Tuntu, so that's going to be a factor too. But I just think that if that offensive line can get enough pressure on Jaden Daniels and maybe get him to make a mistake or two, I'm not a big Russell Wilson guy right now, but I think Russell Wilson can make enough plays to where we could look up and this could be a 17-14 ball game, 21-14 ball game. I think Malik Neighbors can make some big plays. And also I don't know what the Giants. It's a lot of question mark for the Giants. Don't get me wrong, but I believe that defensive line is going to be real solid. So
yeah,
I went with the Giants in that game. But to me, that's a pick 'em game. I think Washington is going to be the favorite, and it wouldn't surprise me if Washington won this game at all. Honestly,
yeah,
blow them out. That wouldn't surprise me either.
yeah.
So next up, we're gonna try to run through this, man. So next up, you got the Jaguars and the Panthers.
I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. I want to see. I hope Travis Hunter have a big game. They got Brian Robinson. He had a good rookie year from LSU. Trevor Lawrence. He could stay healthy if he could just stay healthy. I'm going with Jacksonville. I'm
Yeah,
going with Jacksonville.
I went with Jacksonville too. I think Travis Hunter is gonna be solid. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is gonna have another great season.
Yeah,
Hopefully, because I got him on my fantasy teams, so I need him to have a big year. I think he's gonna be solid though. I like the head coach that they brought over from Tampa Bay, Otten,
yeah, yeah.
the offensive coach. I like him. I
Tornado.
think he's gonna be able to open it up. This right here is a make or break year for Trevor Lawrence. He didn't have plenty of opportunities. They moved up in the draft to go get Travis Hunter. So this right here is a big year for Trevor Lawrence. I went Jacksonville over the Panthers. So next we got the New England Patriots versus the Las Vegas Raiders.
I'm gonna go with the New England Patriots. I like their quarterback, guy from North Carolina. What's his
Drake May.
name? Drake Mayer. Yeah, that's his name. Uh, if Stephon Diggs could just stay focused, worry about football, the Patriots got an okay team.
Yeah.
So
I
I go
went
with the
with the
Patriots.
I went with the Patriots too. I like Drake May, like you said, Stephon Diggs. I like their running back duo with Stevenson and Henderson, who they got from Ohio State. And I think the defense is going to be secretly shocking too. They got
Yeah,
a
Gonzalez, the
yeah,
second best corner in the game, I think.
yeah, they got a lot of sneaky pieces. They picked up Williams from Philly, who was one of the anchors for that Philly defense last year. They got a lot of sneaky pieces on that New England defense. So I went with New England in this one. I think New England is going to be one of those teams that could sneak up on a lot of people this year.
Yeah.
Next up, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New York Jets.
Is it? Oh, so Aaron Rodgers get to play against.
Yep.
I think that the Steelers kind of like got a better line than the Jets to
Yeah.
protect Aaron Rodgers. So I'm gonna go with the Steelers. You know, DK. They got Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay on the defense.
Mhm.
They got T.J. Watt. They linebacker. Like, I got Pittsburgh. I'm going with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I went Pittsburgh as well. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna go out there and try to put on the show. I think he's gonna
Yeah,
try to prove a lot of people wrong that last year was just an anomaly. And I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is no knock on him. I just don't have no faith in Justin Fields. I'm not
yeah.
big on Justin Fields. I don't think I think you get enough pressure on Justin Fields. I don't think that he can go out there and just make this spectacular throw. I just don't see it. So I went Pittsburgh with that one for all the things you said. I think that defense is gonna be solid. Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, TJ Watt. So yeah, I went Pittsburgh in that one. Next up, you got the Seattle Seahawks versus the 49ers. San Francisco 49ers.
I think San Fran more in the rebuilding mode, but I think San Fran could pull it out. I think they could pull it out. Yeah, I just got San Fran. They could go either way.
Yeah.
I just got San Fran.
I agree with you, bro. That's a right there. That's a pick 'em for me. But you, like you said, it could be either. Or. I went Seattle, but I wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco didn't win this game. That's an either or. I gotta see what Sam Donald looked like. He had a great year last year,
Yeah, the
but
great
it's
year in
still Sam
Minnesota.
Donald. So I gotta see how he look in Seattle. But I do think that Seattle defense is going to be solid. Adding DeMarcus Lawrence. They got those
Yeah,
two corners. They got those two corners over there. I think that Seattle defense is going to be solid. The main question is going to be, what do you get from Sam Donald? You still got Walker in the backfield. You got Cooper Kupp on one side, and now you move Smith and Jigba now becomes your number one guy.
he's the
So
number one guy now.
yeah, I
Yeah,
can't wait to see that. But I went with Seattle on that one. But I agree that could just be a pick'em game right there. The next one we got the Broncos and the Tennessee Titans.
Broncos in the Tennessee time. I'm gonna go with the Bronco. I'm gonna go with the Broncos. I want what's his name, Cam Ward
Yeah,
from the Titans to have a good season, but it's a lot of question marks. Like the Titans, they O line. Is Calvin Ridley gonna stay healthy? Is Tony Pollard is gonna stay healthy
yeah,
for the back? So I just think I got the Broncos. I got the
yeah.
Broncos.
We agree again, bro. I went to Broncos
Yeah,
too. And the crazy thing is, Tennessee was my sleeper team in the AFC this year, but I'm gonna go with the Broncos. I think they piggyback off of what they did last year. I think Bo Nix, same thing with like I said with Jaden Daniels. I believe Bo Nix comes out and has the same type of season that he had last year. Patrick Surtain, the best cornerback in the game.
best in the game.
Yeah, and I think they gave Sutton his money, so I think that he's gonna come out there and do what he's supposed to. I just but I'm a huge Bo Nix guy. Other than everything else, and also they picked up J.K. Dobbins, who had a big year and with the Chargers
Yeah, with
last
the
year.
Chargers. Yeah,
So I think that this Broncos team is going. It wouldn't surprise me if the Broncos not in the same position as last year, make it into the playoffs. But I think I like Cam Ward a lot. I'm a big Cam Ward guy. But in this Week 1 matchup, I went Denver. So last four, bro. Let's get them out of the way. You got Detroit versus our old guy Michael Parsons and the Green Bay Packers.
I'm gonna go with Detroit. Detroit gonna be hungry. They getting Aden Hutchinson back. They DN.
Mm-hmm.
They D tackle still out, but and they got Marcus Davenport. I think that's his name. The
Davenport,
other
yeah,
D.
Davenport.
They got another edge rusher to help Hutchinson out, and we already know what their offense could do.
Yeah,
Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery, their offense is fine, but they
yeah,
just got to get their defense together. Detroit gonna be a top five team
yeah.
for sure this year.
Yeah, I went with Detroit too. I just felt as though my only question mark for Detroit is how is it all gonna come together, being as though you lost your offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. So I got to
Yeah,
see how that comes together. But I think Detroit, if everything mashes together, I think Detroit is gonna be the same team we watched last year. Because let's
yeah,
let's keep it all the way 100. If Detroit didn't suffer all those late injuries last year, there's no question in my mind they would have at least been in the NFC Championship game, possibly in the
yeah,
Super Bowl. But I think Detroit picks up where they left off last year. Got to see how they look with the new offense and defensive coordinator. But I think they pick right up where they left off last year. I think they win this game and start off strong. Moving on next, you got the Los Angeles Rams versus the Houston Texans.
I'm going with Houston. C.J. Stroud. They lost their top left tackle to Washington, Laramie Tunsil. But Nico Collins and Tank Dell and them, Houston got weapons. They head coach, D'Amico Ryans, he a great coach. So I'm gonna go with Houston.
Yeah, I just gotta let you know Tank Dell out for the year.
Tank Dell out for the year?
Yeah, Tank Dell towards ACL late last year.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
I
did
still
pick
think
up
they could
they
do it.
did pick up Christian Kirk though.
Oh, I like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
they
that's
got
a good
Christian Kirk.
pickup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I like
went with
that.
in this game right here, I went with the LA Rams, man. I think and I'm stating my claim here right now. I think we could see the LA Rams in the NFC Championship
Yeah, the
game
Rams still gonna be a good
or in
team
the
though
Super
this year.
Bowl or in the Super Bowl this year. It's going to all depend on if Matthew Stafford is able to stay healthy. But I think that the Rams are absolutely loaded. You add Devontae Adams with Puka Nakua. You still got Williams in the backfield. I think that offensive line is solid. On the defensive side, I think Verse is one of the best defensive players in football. You know, they also got a solid defensive line, period. And I think that secondary is pretty decent. It wouldn't shock me if we look up and the Rams are honestly a top four seed in the NFC and end up
Yeah.
end up playing in the NFC Championship game on Super Bowl this year. So I got
They
the
was a player away from getting there.
yeah,
Jalen
they could have
Carter
beat
made that
Philly
sack.
last year.
The
Yeah,
dude was so wide open. Yeah.
I'm telling you. So I went Rams in that one, but that's going to be another one I think is going to be a hell of a game. So
Hmm.
next up, you got the Ravens and the Buffalo Bills.
That's gonna be a good game. I think Baltimore gonna get their revenge. Like it's no this Lamar. If Lamar don't win it this year, I don't think he gonna win it. He got everything. He took DeAndre Hopkins from away from Kansas City. He still got Zay Flowers, Shawn Betterman, Andrews, the tight end. I got Baltimore. I think this they revenge game from last year.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Baltimore. I think Baltimore get their face back in this one too. I think they win this game. But I'm gonna look straight in the camera when I say this, and this not a strike at Lamar Jackson because I'm a Lamar Jackson guy, despite what people may think. They don't have no excuses this year. What
no
you just
excuses.
said is perfect. If the Baltimore Ravens do not win a championship this year, they won't win one because
They
this
won't
team is loaded from top to bottom.
top to bottom.
You could argue that this Baltimore team is more load has a better roster than the Philadelphia Eagles with
Yeah,
Lamar, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins, Rashad Bateman. You got the two-headed monster at tight end with Andrews and Likely. Then the
yes,
offensive line is solid. You turn around in the defensive end. You got Metabuke at defensive tackle. You got what's my man Van Noy. You got
yeah.
Roquan Smith at linebacker. You got Kyle
Ooh,
Hamilton at safety. You got Humphrey corner. You got they picked up my man Alexander from Green Bay. You know what I'm
no
saying?
fly
They
zone.
loaded. They loaded. So I don't want to hit unless a major injury, which I'm gonna knock on wood and hope that don't happen. Besides that, Baltimore has no excuse whatsoever. So
No
if they
excuse.
don't make it to the Super Bowl this year, I don't want to hear, and I don't see them winning one if they don't. So I went Baltimore. I think they get their face back in this game. So I'm with you on that one, bro. And last but not least, you got the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears.
I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings because I think J.J. McCarthy from Michigan, he sat out all last year. I think he's gonna be a good quarterback. Minnesota they surprised me last year,
Mm,
so I think they gonna win it. I think they're gonna have a okay season.
yeah, I agree.
I got them winning.
I went with Minnesota too. I think the Bears are going to be a lot better offensive wise under Ben Johnson. I think Caleb Williams is going to have a bounce back year, but I went Minnesota. I think that defense is going to be absolutely solid. I think JJ McCarthy is going to come out. He's probably going to have to get the jitters out a little bit. You know, Jordan Addison is not playing for I believe the first three games, but they just picked up Adam Thielen. You put him
Hmm.
with Jettas. Justin
Yeah.
Jefferson, I think they're gonna be solid. Aaron Jones in the backfield, you know, he got that security blanket. They also have the tight end. I can't think of his name right now. I just drafted him in my fantasy league, but if you know, you know. But
Mhm.
I think they're gonna be solid, man. So I think the Bears are gonna have a better season than they had last year. But in this game right here in particular, I went with the Minnesota Vikings, man. So we gonna
So,
go
yeah,
ahead. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up. Shawn, I appreciate you for joining me on this episode, bro. And trust me,
no problem.
we
Anytime.
gonna have plenty more to come, bro. Trust me. This just the
Yeah.
beginning, season just kicking off, man. So before we go, let the people know, you know what I'm saying, where they can follow you at and everything like that.
I'm Sean. Y'all can follow me on Instagram. It's paid niggas. I'm sorry for the language. I'm gonna change that. Yeah, it's that paid __ paid nigga. That's me on Instagram. You know, so I'm gonna change that. So yeah, I'm gonna be back though. I'm gonna be back. This was a good one.
Yes, sir. Hey, man.
Appreciate you, man, for having me.
Always, man. Always. Like I
Yeah,
said, man. Anytime, just tell me. People tell me they want to come up and talk about sports, bro. This an open platform, bro. Like I said, I want to give out opportunities. I wish somebody would have gave me one. You know what I'm saying? So
no
anybody that want to
question.
come up that know what they talking about, bro, trust me, anytime. So again, I appreciate you, man, and y'all already know the motto, man. No gimmicks, only the real. I appreciate y'all for topping in with me each and every week. Do not forget to like and share the content when it drops, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. I see y'all next time.
Okay.